So last week we planted seeds, and we are about to observe and investigate how a life cycle of a bean takes place. So I'd like to read more to you about different life cycles. So another life cycle we can take a look at is the life cycle of a butterfly. It begins as an egg, grows into a larva. There's pupa inside a chrysalis, and then grows into adult. And then the adult then produces an egg again, and this cycle continues. Butterfly life cycle. Other organisms have life cycles too, but animal life cycles can be very different from the life cycle of a bean. Some animals are born alive, and some animals hatch from eggs. They all grow up to be adults. The adults meet and produce offspring. The life cycle of the monarch butterfly starts with an egg. A tiny larva called a caterpillar hatches out of the egg. The caterpillar eats and grows. When it is about as big as your finger, the caterpillar changes into a pupa inside a chrysalis. In a couple of weeks, the adult butterfly breaks out of the chrysalis and flies away. After mating, the female lays eggs, completing the life cycle. So as another example of a cycle. Header, ladybug life cycle. Ladybugs, like monarch butterflies, are insects. Ladybugs and butterflies have similar stages in their life cycles. This life cycle is similar to a number of other kinds of insects. The ladybug life cycle starts when adult ladybugs meet and the female lays eggs. When an egg hatches, a larva comes out. The black larva is the offspring, but it doesn't look like its parents. The larva eats and grows for about 3 to 4 weeks before it pupates. Inside the pupa, the larva is changing. When the pupa opens, an adult ladybug comes out. Adult ladybugs are red with black spots. Now the ladybug offspring looks just like its parents. After mating, the female will lay eggs. So here is another cycle of ladybugs. So some similarities, but also several differences of a butterfly. And then a life cycle of a trout. Trout life cycle. Trout lay eggs in streams, and as we can see, a trout is a type of fish. It's popular for those who like fish, and it's often dinner and lunch all across the world. After 3 to 4 weeks, the eggs hatch. The babies swim out. The babies stay attached to their yolks. The yolks are used as food for another 2 to 3 weeks. Now they are young fish called fry, but they don't look like their parents yet. For the next year, they grow up little by little. In 2 years, they are adults. They look just like their parents. They mate and lay eggs in the stream. Can you describe the trout life cycle? And finally, the frog life cycle. Frogs lay eggs in water too. When an egg hatches, a tadpole swims out. It looks more like a fish with a big head than a frog. A tadpole doesn't look like its parents. The tadpole eats and grows. In a few weeks, the tadpole starts to change. Its long, flat tail gets shorter and its legs start to grow. In a few more weeks, the tadpole has grown into a frog. Now it looks just like its parents. So if you take a look at that, another cycle, but as we know, cycles continue. They're continuous. All right, we will pause here for today so you can complete your activity.